it's Jim here from Dr. Tankenstein with a home brew tasting video. So a few weeks ago, I was set the challenge of making the ultimate lockdown beer. My choice, amidst popular opinion, was the MyPA. That's a pale ale that can be completely customized. So I made this beer to be 10% alcohol, 100 IBUs, and it was designed to be mixed with whatever you want to make the beer go as far as you could. The statistics on this beer are 40% Marisota, 30% pale ale malt, 15% each of oats and crystal. It was hopped with New Zealand Bullet, Northern Brewer and Cascade, but for all that information, please check out the brewing video where you can see me brew it on camera. Today, I want to see if I made the right decision in making a customizable beer. I have, in true lockdown fashion, on an unnamed e-conversation platform, my good friend Richard to test this beer for me. I've been acting like beer claws and dropping beers off all around the country for people to taste. So, Richard, do you have your ultimate lockdown MyPA?
I have it right here in front of me, yes.
Good stuff. Now, you chose the mixers for this. The spec was that we were going to mix this beer, make it go further, turn one bottle into 2 or 3 beers that would be of a good ABV. So, what did you choose to mix this beer with?
Well, in ultimate lockdown fashion, I had to look for things that were in the cupboard. So we've gone with a tea of my wife's favourite, which is Lady Grey. We have got a coffee.
Yeah, of course.
And then for the final one, I decided that it would be a good idea just to try it as is, without diluting it whatsoever.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah, of course. Let's stay true to the beer. Now, the coffee thing, I take the blame for because I did in the video say that you could mix it with coffee. I don't know why I said that. But the other two, the pure and the Lady Grey, are entirely your choice.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm eager to see what the tea goes with. Obviously, it has some citrus flavours anyway, does the tea. So let's hopefully it will complement some hop flavours as well.
So without any further ado, let's just dig in. I tell you what, shall we go from unadulterated to tea to stout? How does that sound?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Right, I say so unadulterated. So it's quite dark. I thought this beer was going to be dark, but I also thought it was going to be diluted with things so that it could afford to be dark. It's got 15% crystal malt and 40% Marisota, so I guess it would be quite dark. At 1.1 OG, there's a lot of malt in there. It's going to be quite dark. So let's chin. Let's see what we think.
Well, it's less offensive than I was expecting.
Good. Less offensive is good.
It is quite chewy.
Yeah. So when I made this beer on the video, I expressly said that I wasn't making a barley wine. And I think what I've done here is made a reasonable barley wine. Actually. If I take myself out of this and, if I pretend I'm not the brewer and I'm just tasting this, I would say that the hop aroma is subtle, but it is there. You get a reasonable tropical aroma. Would you agree?
I'm just getting a lot of booze, I think.
A lot of booze, yeah. There is a lot of booze in it, I'm going to be honest. It's 10% ABV. So, a lot of booze, slightly tropical, and then the flavour. Yeah, it's quite chewy. It's an all malt beer. Like I say, this was designed to be diluted with something. So, what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, Rich, is I'm going to preserve my sobriety with this, and I'm going to move on to the next one.
Absolutely.
You chose
Thank you.
Lady Grey for. So, Rich, I've got to ask you, what's Lady Grey?
I guess everybody's heard of Earl Grey and probably avoids it. Earl Grey is a tea which is flavoured with bergamot, which is very much like it's an orange flavour, but this is kind of a milder version. I believe Lady Grey was Earl Grey's wife, and she so this is more citrus aromas, slightly more subtle, so hopefully palatable.
Hopefully. When I read the description of Lady Grey on the box, I did think that this might actually lend itself quite well to the MyPA, with it being kind of orangey and citrusy. Before I disrupt this beer, I made this cocktail, this hop tail, if you will. I made it not 5 minutes ago, although I've been recording for 8 minutes, so maybe it was more than 5 minutes ago. And if I can just hold that to my camera there is what we would call in the science community a precipitate. Now, what I think's happened here is the very thing in the Earl Grey that I thought, of the Lady Grey, sorry, that I thought was going to add flavour, the polyphenols, the astringent polyphenols. I think that they've reacted with the salts that I made the beer with. So because this was a big beer, I knew that I needed to adjust the water profile quite heavily. Now, the polyphenols are basically, they can be what you would call chelators, which means that they grab onto those metal ions in the salts and they become insoluble. So this doesn't look great, Rich, I'm going to be honest, but
No.
we're not drinking it with our eyes, are we? We're drinking it with our mouths. So
And through our teeth,
the aroma's going to be very much the same, I imagine. Oh, it's actually very orangey.
Well, there you go, Lady Grey. There you go.
Lady Grey. Okay, so let's dig in and see what we've got here. What do you think?
It definitely lends itself. It definitely helps being thinner. Obviously, thinner than what we've previously tasted.
I get it.
The aromas, they're in there. They are citrusy. Obviously, that's coming through from probably the hops and the Lady Grey. It is a bit off. It's a little bit off-putting, the fact that I'm drinking it through my teeth. But
no, leave that alone. Ignore it.
But I'm just going to go in again. I don't mind that at all.
No,
it tastes like tea.
That's it. That's the thing I was hoping you were going to say, because everything other than the fact that it tastes like tea makes it a decent beer, I think.
Yeah, I drink that. Filtered. I'd drink that.
Now, of course, there are a lot of beers out there that are Earl Grey beers. So, if you were in a shop faced with, a beer that you could only get 3 of, that was designed to be mixed with something, and you liked a tea beer, maybe the MyPA and the Lady Grey is a good way to go.
Maybe so.
I'm going to be honest. That looks like death. It actually tastes quite nice.
Yeah.
But
I'll happily finish that one off.
Criticizing my own bit. Yep. Okay, good. I'll finish it off in a sec. So, like I say, the whole point of this beer was that this diluted beer is now still 5% ABV. It's still 50 IBUs. So it's still got all those characteristics of a decent beer. You're not diluting it to 2% with your tea. Because let's be honest, if you know somebody that dilutes their beer to 2% with Earl Grey, that person shouldn't be your friend anymore. Right. Let's dig into the last one. The elephant in the room, the thing that's going to keep me up all night.
Absolutely.
Got,
it's
50-50 MyPA and coffee. Now, when I said maybe you could mix it with coffee in the video, it was a throwaway comment, I'm going to be honest. It was a throwaway. I was trying to think of, cool things that you can mix with different things, because I said grapefruit and passion fruit about 4 times. Coffee is slightly more acidic than the beer will be. So hopefully it will give something to the palate. I haven't really got any more justification than that. Let's dig in, shall we? So
Let's
like
do
I
it.
say, the aroma should be very much the same, except mixed with coffee.
Oh yeah, smells like coffee.
Yeah. I mean, Rich, can I just ask before we dive in there? Are you using instant coffee or ground coffee?
I'm using ground coffee.
Great stuff. We can stay friends.
I ground my own beans, so yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. I just got out of the packet. So we're both using ground coffee. The concentration's probably quite different, but that shouldn't. Well, let's see if that makes a difference. So the aroma of this, I can't even smell the beer anymore.
That's true. I agree.
It's certainly not boozy anymore, which is good. So I'm going to just chin chin.
I do get the beer through first.
Yeah.
And then the coffee seems to come over the top.
It's like waves, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess that might actually be. I don't know. I don't want to say. I'm certainly not going to say that my beer is the way to drink coffee, but perhaps those waves are always there in the coffee. Maybe you get different flavors as the time goes on. But yeah, it's definitely beer punctuated with coffee that's punctuated with beer. It's quite interesting, that, I think. I was expecting to just be able to taste coffee.
Yeah, considering the coffee smell was so strong and so overpowering, it was nice to get that initial beer and then coffee.
And I'm going to be honest, I mean, I don't know about you, the way that I've made my coffee up, it is actually a little bit sour, it's a little bit acidic. I think that the acidity of the coffee kind of brings something different out in the beer. You sort of do now get those citrus flavors out in the beer. I don't know if that's just me. What do you think of that?
There's definitely something. I think I can definitely the beer is definitely a hop taste in the foremouth before before the coffee laps over it.
I guess what we've done here is we've gone pure tea coffee, the hot drink specialist Richard Jones. So I think we both agree the pure drink here is strictly an end of the night / end of life situation. The Earl Grey was, for me, a summer's day drink.
Absolutely, it's like an iced tea.
It quite is, isn't it? The tea's nice and cold. I think the tea and the pale ale, the MyPA, kind of complement each other.
Absolutely, yeah.
The coffee, if I'm honest, the coffee does swamp it a little bit, but in my opinion, and I'd like to hear your opinion too, for me, the acidity of the coffee did bring out a new quality in the beer, brought out those citrus notes that were hiding earlier on behind the booze in this one. What do you think?
I could definitely see myself drinking that sort of mid-session. Sort of, you've had a couple of the normal ones. You're feeling that a little bit sleepy. You don't need to go to Costa Coffee. Oops, you don't need to go and get a coffee.
Oh, brand name.
You don't need to get a coffee. You can continue and have a 5% coffee
and have a MyPA. Yeah. So, I guess the question on all 4 viewers' lips is, should I have bothered? Has this experiment worked? My goal was to make a beer that was brewed to stay interesting. Has that happened? Can you see yourself getting a big bottle of MyPA and diluting it with whatever you've got in your kitchen?
Absolutely,
First, guys.
absolutely. It's almost like a DIY PA. It's
DIY PA.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's thrown my name to the side. He's coined his own term.
but
It's
but you know, whether it is lemonade, whether it is orange juice, we've done it with tea, which has probably been the most refreshing and disgusting looking of all of them.
the tea. I'm honest. I'm going to be honest. As we were prepping for this video, it looked disgusting. I was not looking forward to drinking the tea one, but it's actually quite delicious. If I can be frank.
Yeah,
It looks like shite, but it's actually very nice.
absolutely. I mean, that's the one that I'm going back to rather than the coffee or the pure blood.
Yeah, and this was Lady Grey, not Earl Grey. Maybe Santa Claus will drop you off another lockdown IPA, and you can.
Maybe we'll try it with Earl Grey.
Use Earl Grey, the more masculine tea.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Rich. You have been a great impartial judge in this competition. If you were to pick your favourite, which would it be?
Definitely the tea.
Tea, yeah. My tea's gone. If I'm honest, my tea's gone. Luckily, I have many more bottles. So, Rich, thank you very much. I'm gonna salute you with my coffee beer and say, in your words, was the MyPA a success?
Yes.
Man, a few words. Cheers, Rich. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.